Please be seated. Prynhawn da, a croeso I Caerdydd. Good afternoon and welcome to Cardiff, to the Utilita Arena and to Cardiff University's 2024 graduation ceremonies. I'm Pat Young and I am the chair of Cardiff University's governing body, the University Council. Now, 37 years ago, I sat exactly where you're sitting today, preparing to graduate from Cardiff University. My time here at Cardiff transformed my life. And so it's a real privilege for me to be here today to celebrate this momentous occasion with you. May I offer a warm Welsh croeso welcome to family, friends, and supporters, and of course to you, the class of 2024. Today, we celebrate the extraordinary achievements of students in two of our schools, the School of Computer Sciences and Informatics and the School of Mathematics. Graduating from university is no mean feat, so I commend you not only for securing a place at Cardiff University in the first place, but also for the dedication and commitment you have shown and demonstrated to get you to where you are today. Now, as well as gaining a degree, you have also grown in myriad ways, and you have left your mark on us. Some of you in the School of Computer Science and Informatics have worked on projects with real-life impact, from the Society Portal, which is aimed at students on society committees to provide a single portal to manage their society's events and finances and marketing, through to developing a retail shopping app which is able to provide the high street in your hand. Students in the School of Mathematics have worked on research projects with lecturers winning awards and prizes such as the Operational Research Society Griffiths Medal for work on COVID-19 transmission modelling. You've been inspired by your lecturers who have studied everything from predicting extreme weather events to linear programming to find the best Pokemon team. You will all have benefited from the state-of-the-art facilities in our Abacus building, and you leave us with a diverse skill set and with our thanks for everything you have brought to our community. So whilst you've been here, all of you have been taught by world-leading schools and some of the brightest minds on the planet. But now it is your turn. And I'll share a secret with you. It's okay if you don't know exactly what you want to do next. I graduated in mining geology and then spent my entire career working in television. Your Cardiff qualification tells the world that you're ambitious, passionate, and have a brilliant mind, however and wherever you decide to apply it. Embark on the next stage of your journey with all of the confidence that that brings. So this is your day. For some of you, today may be tinged with sadness as you say goodbye to Cardiff, this vibrant, colourful and diverse city that has been the backdrop to your journey through university. Of course, the charm and character of Cardiff is difficult to give up, and some of you may have already decided to stay and call Cardiff home for the foreseeable future, whether this is through work or further study. Either way, as you cross this stage in a short while and step foot outside of this arena, you'll be doing so as a Cardiff graduate and a member of our alumni community. Cardiff University will always be your university. And so wherever life takes you, we hope that you'll become a flag bearer for this great institution and carry forward our values of kindness and generosity of spirit. We ask simply that you stay in touch, that you come and visit us often, and you share your experience of Cardiff University with the wider world. For now, I ask that you sit back, enjoy the ceremony, and savour this moment. It is another special memory to add to the collection from your time with us, and your graduation will be something you can look back on fondly in years to come. I now have the pleasure of introducing Hannah Pearce. Hannah will read the proclamation and a poem by Wales's inaugural national poet, Gwyneth Lewis. Many of you will have encountered Gwyneth's work before in the form of the 6-foot-high words, which are thought to be the biggest poem in the world, which are etched into the front of the Wales Millennium Centre. Gwyneth has been a writer-in-residence at Cardiff University's School of Physics and Astronomy and is now an honorary fellow. The poem, Education, was specially commissioned by Cardiff University. Thank you.
Education by Gwyneth Lewis. Beiddio a feiddio, gwellhad y wneud. Myna geisio, parchad ddweud. Traws newidiad fydd dy glod. Dy ddyfodol, mentro bod. Learning's a passport that returns you home a better person. It permits you to dare being daring, makes you secure with not knowing everything, helps you welcome some failure, forges an alloy with others' thinking. It is simple delight in mind and its motions, scintillates but isn't deceptive, admits the joy of institutes, is the open road to everywhere but bigotry. It's the shortest distance between you and me, and if you're lucky, it never ends. I will now read the proclamation, first in Welsh and then in English. Nerth gwlad I gwybodau. Boed hysbys I holl aelodau'r Brifysgol ac ar hyd a lled y byd fod cynulliad o Brifysgol Caerdydd yn cael ei gynnal heddiw ym Mhrifddinas Cymru. O dan awdurdod Siarter Frenhinol y Brifysgol, mae'r cynulliad hwn yn cyfarfod I dderbyn y myfyrwyr, sydd yn rhinwedd I hastudiaethau a'i hysgol heicdod, wedi'i harholi'n briodol yn unol â statudau'r Brifysgol, ac wedi'i cael yn deilwng o'i graddau. Wrth ddathlu llwyddiant y rhai sy'n graddio yn y cynulliad hwn, fe'i hatgoffon o'i cyfrifoldeb I gyfrannu o werthoedd y brifysgol hon. Nod iddynt hwy yw ceisio drwy eu cyflawniadau wasanaethu lles pawb, ymdrechu I sicrhau rhagoriaeth ym mhob peth, ac yn boeni am ddyfodol ein byd. Grandewch yn awchus ar ddoethineb, gan ei fod yn cynnig gobaith a gwirionedd ym mhob cenhedlaeth. Nerth gwlad I gwybodau. A nation's strength is in its learning. Let it be known to all members of the university and throughout the world that today, in the capital city of Wales, a congregation of Cardiff University is taking place. Under the authority of the university's Royal Charter, this congregation meets to receive those students who, by virtue of their studies and scholarship, have been appropriately examined according to the statutes of the university and found worthy of their degrees. We celebrate the success of those who graduate in this congregation, and in doing so, remind them of their responsibility to share in the values of this university. It is for them to seek to their achievements, to serve the common good, to strive for excellence on all things, and care for the future of our world. Be attentive to wisdom, for it offers hope and truth in every generation.
Prynhawn, I'm Georgia Spry, your Vice President Sports and Athletic Union President from the Students' Union. Cardiff, it's a privilege to address you today, a day you will remember fondly for the rest of your lives. For many of you, today marks the end of an era and the beginning of the next chapter of your life. At the beginning of this journey, many of you would have been faced with the exciting but daunting prospect of moving away from home, whether that be from Pontypridd, Portsmouth, or Peru, making new friends and perhaps living independently for the first time. None of these are easy feats, and for that, I congratulate you. During your time at Cardiff, you may have had to overcome some challenges. You may have been the first in your family to come to university. You may be a carer or have dependents and have had to balance that with university life. Or maybe you've battled with something entirely else. You should all feel very proud of what you have achieved, both personally and academically. The experiences you have shared together in the seminar room, a society, or a sports club, the opportunities you have embraced, and the relationships which you have built have made you into the graduate and person that you are today. As you reflect on your time here, let's acknowledge the hard work and dedication that brought you to this moment. It's not just about the degrees you hold, but the friendships you've made, the lessons you've learned, and the growth you've experienced. You may or may not know exactly what you're doing next, but as you step into the next chapter, carry with you the resilience you've developed and the memories you've cherished. Face the future with confidence, knowing that you're equipped to tackle whatever comes next. May your care ever be for the good name of our university and the well-being of our world. Llongyfarchiadau, class of 2024.
Prynawn da iawn I chi, good afternoon. Fy enw I yw'r athro Damien Wolford-Davies, a fi yw provost a Dirprwys Ganghellor, Prifysgol Caerdydd. My name is Damien Wolford-Davies. I'm Provost and Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Cardiff University, and I'm delighted to say my job on the stage today is really, very, very simple. It is to warmly welcome all students actually to receive their award, and I'll say something about that moment, which I hope you'll agree when it comes is going to be very dramatic shortly. And I know that Claire Morgan, my colleague as Pro Vice-Chancellor, Education and Student Experience has already trailed what that moment will be like, but I'll say a bit more in a moment. Now, I have to say, we're midweek through a very, very packed schedule. Yesterday, Monday, absolutely superb, but I've got to tell you something about this issue of noise. Just to be clear, we love it. And we want more of it. So anything you can do to ensure that the decibels are louder than Tuesday and Monday would be gratefully received by everybody this side of these blinding lights. Do we understand each other? So what does that mean, apart from that? It means celebrating the achievement of our students as they cross the stage by clapping or cheering or doing whatever you want to do. Keep it classy, as I've always said this week. You're about to become Cardiff graduates, so you know what classy looks like. But one other point, it's a long runway, really. It looks quite short, but it's quite a long runway, and each of the students will be on their own journey. Would you agree? They only do this once. For a particular degree. So keep up your resilience and keep the clapping going, if you would, as well as the hollering. Okay, once all the students for each award have crossed the stage and returned to their seats, and there might be a little delay, and I'll just let everybody do that, I will ask them to stand. And it's at that point in the ceremony and at other equivalent times that we uphold a tradition. And that is the university tradition for me to speak in Welsh to receive each group of graduates to their particular award. And the Welsh formula I'm going to use, when translated, means, through the authority conferred upon me by the university, I receive you to your award with all the privileges this confers. Congratulations. Trwy'r awdurdod a roddwyd I mi gan y Brifysgol, derbyniaf chi I gael eich dyfarniad a'r holl freintiau a ddaw yn ei sgil llongyfarchiadau. So just listen out for that. You'll know when it comes. Can I now introduce Dr. Catherine Jones, Head of the School of Computer Science and Informatics, who will present undergraduate students for their awards.
I, Dr. Catherine Jones, introduce those who have received the degree of Bachelor of Science. Hadil Abid. Timothy Adual. Mohammed Ahmed. Al-Walid Al-Rashidi. Hamid Nasser Al-Sami. Khalid Al-Shamsi. Omar Al-Dawaysan. Philippos Alexandros. Amina Salam Al-Gahamdi. Ayman Ali. Hamza Al-Jawari. Dominique Grant Alvornik. Noura Nasser O Al-Rashidi. Mahfoud Hamoud Al-Ahabi. David Anley. Mark Araya. Samuel James Atkinson. Rhiannon Philippa Austin. Byron Biggs. Ruben Baker. Mahmoud Shahir Balok. Thomas Barkaway. Theodore Hoyren Bauer. Jasmine Bedford. Cameron Bethnell. Evelyn. Fergal Bowen. Jared Brockenshire. Harry Burley Jukes. Henry Joseph Byrne. Miles Henry Cadwallader. Samuel Carrington. During Sam Your Serena. Roshini Charles. Orwin Y. Ken Chung. Aishila Chung. Dev Chaptenbar. Gianfranco Chichi Omensere. Alexander Clark. Gib Andrew Clayton. Daniel George Clements. Andrew. Johan David Cookson. Elena Grace Corbally. Samuel Croot. Aidan Cross. Reese Cummins. Michał Danikevich. Harrison James Davis. Jessica Jade Davis. Thomas William Davis. Antonio De Rosa. Pushpa. Christopher. Alexander Ashford Davison. Rohan Dewan. Oscar Newens. Dylan Sean De Silva. Ben Ellaway. Benjamin Evans. Joshua Wynne Evans. Edwin Jaden Anna Fabian. Oliver Henry Field, Alexander Daniel Finch, Artem Gevrashenko, David Shafik Batros Gawi, Daniel Goldney, George Greatwich, Igor, Amit Gurung, Sarcham, Konstantinos Hedgegregoriades, Dylan Hall, George Hampton, Oliver Hancock, Christian Hand, Lewis Harmon, Jack Hart, Sean Lewis Heisman, Finlay Holton, Charlie Howard, Mohammed Safian Hussain, Ellis Lloyd Jackson, Musa Wafid Musa Jafar, Sun Il Jalan, Evan Jenkins, Edward Philip Jermaine, Jana Javai, Daryl Elizabeth James, Benjamin Gabriel Jones, Harry Jones, Yolu Evans Jones, Seren Elizabeth Jones, Thomas Llewellyn Jones, Alan Joseph, Eva Lauren Kelly, Elliot Kempson, Atif Khan, Fareed Khan, Seema Khanum, Matthew Robert Jones, Michael John Kirbybot, Ivor Iwan Corsa, Isabella Zuana Kozenska, Matthew Latino, Oliver James Lewis, Jake Lineham, Lestinian Gabriel Letio, Faye Loic Lorente Lemone, Jacob Loza, Tafadzwa, Lawrence Allen Maynard, Timothy Sean Gore McCarthy, Kieran Stewart McHendrick, Ella Louise McMorrow, Nathan McKew, John William McNamara, George McTavish, Mohammed Amir Mohammed Farid, Amina Maya, Ahmed, Reese Nana, Harvey Nash, Ali Nathani, Adam Ralph Naylor, Jack Nicholas, Christopher Nichols, Tobiah Knott, David Kolawole Ojitola, George Thomas Osborne, Michael Inti Owasu Bohachi, Lloyd Howell Oxenham, Jake Palmer, Maxwell Palmer, Nicoletta Paffetti, Frederick James Starlin Patterson, Ben Peacock, Nick Penny, Anfisu Phillips, Morgan Plumstead, Abby Price, Dylan Price, Amanda Ram, Timothy Arthur Reynolds, Jack Samuel Richards, Molly Hannah Richards, James Michael Riordan, Fabian Owen Roberts, Jack Liam Roberts, Ben Rose, Philip Rowley, Georgian Saju, Jake Samuels, Davina Kaur Sangera, Cameron Scarlett, Nareev Davinyan Shah, Yash Shah, Adam Shannon, Philippa Rosie Shannon, Darshan Dev Singh, Elliot William Hoot Smith, Daniel Sparrow, Michael Richard Stevens, Kevin Sundar, Ryan James Swift, Adam William Tagg, Karim Tagirov, Alexander Charles Tarling, Joseph Mark Taylor, Javanti Favarotnem, Alana May Thomas, Lewis, Alexander Tickner, Connor Tommy, Kendra, Liam Alexander Underhill, Tushar Vishista, Jason Vagniswaran, Samuel James Wardle, Jake White, Thomas Daniel White, Chianti Azara Winded Tantry, Conan Willis, Valentine Timor Oliver Wilson, Stuart Wing Wong, J. Stephanie Woolcock, Anna Jellis Wright, Catherine Juliet Wright, and Jai E. Zhu, Hayley Hu Wei Yo, Whiting Ye, Sarah Yousaf, Davidas Zurakovas, Dylan Lewis, I, Dr. Catherine Jones, introduce those who have received the degree of Master of Science. Ayob Akram, Olwa Sheon Stella Bergide, Reese Richard Forey, Thomas Mamutil John, Haristian Mihailov, Sienna Parry, Jasmine Robinson, Daniel Jonathan Chadley, Craig Thompson,
I, Dr. Jonathan Thompson of the School of Mathematics, introduce those who have received the degree of Bachelor of Science. Hannah Marie Andrews. Thomas Arben. Robbie Ethan Ashton. Max Bailey. Harry Basra. AJ Varta. Hannah Binmore. Quinn Joshua Bowers. Charlie Budd. Sebastian Edward Coldwell. Erin Carvoon. Tianyu Chen. Ellie Clements. Luca Conte. Bradley Cumber. Eve Crocombe. Oswald George Dallymore. Rory Daly. Bradley Adam Davis. Thomas David Samuel Davis. Gregory Dyer. Holly Jane Ford. Elijah Friedberg. Harry Lucas Aubrey Friend. Ethan Jack Hammond. Thomas Harrison. Esther Heggie. Laura Hickey. Miriam Hisham Hassan. Anthony Holman. Benjamin Hooker. Hannah Ilahi. Tim Eilif Moon. Will Israel. Naomi Jenkins. Charles Edward Johnson. Alec Jones. Elliot Thomas Jones. Lily Rebecca Jones. Noah James Jones. Stefan Jones. Annabella Joins. Fletcher Kettle. Nicole Kaliva. Eartha Isabel Antonia Cruft Welton. Jack William Lowe. Evelyn Rose May. Carl McGrath. Oliver. Benedict Musket. Joseph Nullmeyers. Archie Parker. Gemma Parsons. Krish Sanjay Patel. Dayunku Shara Afia Penidran Sharminon. Connor Porter. Iman Sophia Ramzani. Zoe Marielle Rival. Bethan Reynolds. Kane Richards. Declan Edward Uberhorst Richardson. Rhys Riordan Jones. Mia Gwyn Roberts. Enrico Rolfo. Ewan Rossiter. Ria Sanga. Luke Sargent. Isaac Scott. Savindu. Humza Sheikh. Lindiwe Sibanda. Alex Sibby. Jamie Sidwell. Matthew James Squire. Emma Stanbury. Ella Steeds. Rosie Sucharichal. Nishat Tarannum. Amy Tarrant. Louisos Seriotis. Matthew Twyman. Thomas Henry Voigt. Sarah Walker. Katie Felicia Watkins. Hannah Wheeler. Alfie Williams. Antonia Holly Williams. Joshua Luke Williams. Joel Chi Ho Wong. Oliver Wong. Megan Wood. Ardan Zahir. Namira Zayman. Catherine Zverovich. I, Dr. Jonathan Thompson, introduce those who have received the Diploma of Higher Education. Chenny van Kulenberg. I, Dr. Jonathan Thompson, introduce those who have received the degree of Master in Mathematics. Aurora Bertland. Jack Daniel Brown. Neo Alexander Cotton. L. Crowell. Gitto Hughes. Justin Lloyd. Caitlin Sarah O'Hara. Thomas Penniket. Alex Room. Harry Steed. Finley Stevens. I, Dr. Jonathan Thompson, introduce those who have received the degree of Master in Mathematics, Operational Research and Statistics. Harry Bond. Lewis Cordell. Zoe Shapcott. Matthew Howells. James Gill. The Deputy Vice-Chancellor will now confer the award.
That was some good noise. There's some truly excellent family stuff coming from over here. Well done. A wnaeth pob myfyriwr sydd newydd groesi'r llwyfan sefyll os gwelwch yn dda. Would all the students who have just crossed the stage please stand? Trwy'r awdurdod a roddwyd I mi gan y Brifysgol, derbyniaf chi i'ch dyfarniad a'r holl freintiau a ddaw yn ei sgil. Llongyfarchiadau, congratulations. Gwych, diolch yn fawr iawn. Steddwch os gwelwch yn dda, please sit.
I, Professor Gavin Shuddock, introduce those who have received the degree of Master of Science. Oladapo Olawala Miliade Adekoa. Liban Ahmed. Divine Salom Afenu. Angela Olawa Adekineke Akitom. Mustafa Akmal. Amin Abedora Haman. Hamidi Othman Al-Ludubri. Leith Al-Akaim. Mana Abdurrahman Al-Nassar. Awa Ahem Jassas Al-Sharif. Saha Said A. Al-Zrani. Harish Kumar. Jonathan Ayodel. Jeffrey Lawrence Baker. Sudarshan Balaji. Joe Barrett. Matthew Alexander Betty. Ankur Mamore. Chaitanya Banavat. Avi. Nishay Bhatt. Sai Krishna. Sean Black. Jake Robert Blackstock. William Bohe. Bilal Ahmad Brar. Georgina Victoria White Bumpas. Ellis Morgan Burgess. Chloe Butler. Nagataja Chala. Yuhin Chan. Shiwali Jarjan. Lian Chen. Shayu Shi. Alec Cook. Sean Cook. Emma Costello. Callum Donald Courtney. Freya Nenish Sagwala. Marion Davis. AJ Deshpande. Kaustuf Deshpande. Caitlin DeVincente. Megan Susan Louisa Didcote. Alan Dunster. Jerry Duong. Boma Duapama Odomanu. Richard White Ekong. Fionn Kine Evans. Jonathan Fowler. Joe Frampton. Joshua Francis. Mitchell Freeman. Abigail Bethany Chloe Gardner. Se Bhagavari Garika Pati. Ashutosh Shankar Gorapidye. Gobi Gowan Damase. Elizaveta Gracheva. Harriet Grange. Gwyn Jew. Yasmina Portela. Mohammed Anasa Jalal. Kabir Juraral. Rithvik Gurala. Aaron Harrix. Helen Harrod. Syed Arsan Hassan. Alexander Sawood Heyman. John Jacob Hearn. Ashinta Hebar. Kaho. Escal Hui. Ben Andrew Hyde. Charles Ikusan. Richard Frank Jackson. Mohammed Husaifa Jamil. Edu Krishna Jayan. Smith Ditches. Darren Rees Johns. Richard Johns. Anthony Jones. Gareth Jones. Ulisha Joseph. Kumud Joshi. Swapnil Kadam. Chitam Govidanyu Kajidoni. Samuel Kakanenji. Rahul Kela Jumbumbi Rajgun Vun. Ashish Kalshape. Ozioma Kalamulu. Akash Kamble. Ashke Ashkos Kanajave. Nunyu Karanya. Yoshibu Katayama. Lauren Catherine Kerslake. Abbasin Khan. Danish Khan. Hassan Khan. Samir Ahmed Khan. Mohammed Kokash. Manu Virare Kondle. Tammy Kong. Pidnare Kwajadgwong. Kithana Krishna. Arenuthyan Krishna Kumra. Nija Kulkarni. Fateh Kurt. Aranya Salyed Laka Dwalwalbla. Abethjith Anya Laksimi Narawa Nan. Amit Akos Lawali. Lan Zen. Nazila Latife. Thomas Joseph Leggett. Sena Levando Skaskia. Xianxi Li. Shoshun Li. Zhou Llewellyn. Chung Ting Justin Low. Gaia Rosera Lo Guiche. Fabio Lau. Lu Hui. Pijay Ma, Priyanka Maga, Sanket Milind Maine, Karan Manoharan, Gabriel John Philip Martin, Mohammed Shade Mehboob Mateshwala, Elgan Matthias, Paul Matthews, Joseph McSweeney, Arif Mehmood, Reshma Ragachitran Menon, Shalipa Mohanan, Jack Miner, Shala Mohammed, Rahul Mughal, Ame Mohait, Joel Montero, Tarunpreet Singh Moore, Shayani Mukhodpadhyay, Uthavun Mule, Grace Muniri, Kathina Mumurguri Pillai, Ashish Ravinyaranalya, Swapnil Nandi, Nung Ju Young, Charlotte Norris, Elliot Noyes, Joshua Oguntande, Richard Orr, Gabriel Orungba, Megavasitha Paditha Venkantaramana, Avanish Parmesu, Lee Parsons, Pooja Patel, Rohan Patel, Tanvi Chita Patwardhan, George P. Paul, Hehun Pang, Matilda Pinto Vincenta, Shrudada Pongde, Sindura Ponaswamy, Matthew Allen Powell, Lakshmi Prasad, Kitinan Prasad Rung Ruang, Kashushik Paida, Sean Quinney, Mohammed Rawan Alfar, Guyatre Raghumampete, Aditya Rane, Shiram Rakesekaran, Melinka Rajbandare, Jade Ranklin, Nikita Rathore, Matthew Lee Robinson, Thomas Rayan, Sai Prasad Samboja, Uday Sewat, Jack Sheldon Shapira, Alex Sholters, Maria Shemokeneko, Navaria Corsera Shali, Vintuth Shantavira Dandra Swami, Apiravav Shwama, Adarsh Shira Anil, Sruthi Siddhabhuta Tula, Osama Mahed Siddiqui, Sam Silverthorne, Mehul Singh, Peter Snook. Timothy Stephen Standen. Ferhan Su. Ramesh Sudu. Anna Sudelamine. Joshi Rava Teja Taluri. Puyang Tuang. Chaitani Taru. Joshua Taylor. Kai Pong Tiu. Ashley Tian. Benjamin Thomas. Kieran Liam Thomas. Davatith Valaparambila Sira Mashwame. Ryan Vaughan. Bharat Vikatesh. Swetha Vakatesh. Devanath Vikatila Larakan. Chao Zhao. Xiaoyu Wang. Glyn James Wells. Ellen Half-Williams. Josephine Windsor-Lewis. Naomi Jade Ray. Jianjian Wu. Chanjiao Xu. Yang Hao. Yifan Yang. Yinto Yang. Gopi Krishna Yarabala. Ashke Luli. Zhang Winzhen. Zhang Yahui. Gadi Ziadi. The Deputy Vice-Chancellor will now confer the award.
A wnaeth pob myfyriwr sydd newydd groesi'r llwyfan sefyll os gwelwch yn dda. Would all the students who have just crossed the stage please stand? Trwy'r awdurdod a roddwyd I mi gan y Brifysgol, derbyniaf chi i'ch dyfarniad a'r holl freintiau a ddaw yn ei sgil. Llongyfarchiadau, congratulations. Steddwch os gwelwch yn dda. Diolch yn fawr iawn.
The following students to be presented have achieved a doctoral degree, and in recognition of their achievements and research, they will be presented to the presiding officers who will doff in return. I, Professor Gavin Shaddock, introduce those who have received the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Enoch Agepong. Dr. Abdullah Al-Masari. Dr. Dalia Ahmed Al-Fasanani. Dr. Mohammed Al-Ghazaya. Dr. Nada Al-Hebari. Dr. James Robert Ashford. Dr. Ian Barclay. Dr. Laura Darcy. Dr. Efenurore Afe Aye Fia. Dr. Bjorn Friedrichs. Dr. Joshua Moore. Dr. Timothy Ostler. Dr. Michaelis Panadiadis. Dr. Carla Perez Almedros. Dr. Sam Richardson. Dr. Charlie Scottford. Dr. John Threffall. Dr. Yichelle Wong. Dr. Elizabeth Mary Millicent Williams. The Deputy Vice-Chancellor will now confer the award.
A wnaeth pob myfyriwr sydd newydd groesi'r llwyfan sefyll os gwelwch yn dda. Would all the students who have just crossed the stage please stand? Trwy'r awdurdod a roddwyd I mi gan y Brifysgol, derbyniaf chi i'ch dyfarniad a'r holl freintiau a ddaw yn ei sgil. Llongyfarchiadau, congratulations. Diolch yn fawr iawn I chi.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you today's alumni speaker. Stefan Powell is a graduate of Cardiff University's School of Law and Politics and also the School of Journalism, Media and Culture. After graduating, he joined the BBC and quickly became a recognised voice as the presenter of BBC Radio 1 Newsbeat. During his 8 years as a presenter and senior reporter, he travelled across the world presenting Newsbeat from places like Tokyo, Los Angeles and Seoul. He was appointed the BBC's first ever gaming and culture correspondent in 2021 and is creator and presenter of the BBC Sounds podcast Press X to Continue. In this role, Stefan has interviewed celebrities like Keanu Reeves and Usain Bolt about their love of gaming. Stefan is currently the host of Doctor Who Unleashed, the BBC's behind-the-scenes programme for this much-loved sci-fi series. Here, he interacts with Hollywood A-listers and young contributors all in the same space. We're so very pleased to welcome Stefan here today to share some congratulatory words with you all. Please welcome Stefan Powell.
Helo, shwmae, diolch yn fawr Claire am y cyflwyniad. We're mor braf I fod nôl gyda chi gyd heddiw. Thank you very much, Claire, for the very kind introduction and also the reminder of some of the stuff that has happened to me since I was sat there just like you were a long time ago. You're all in, frankly, devilishly well-appointed gowns by judging what you're walking across the stage on and very smart shoes. I myself was in a slightly ill-fitting gown all those years ago, with a newly reconstructed anterior cruciate ligament as well, which meant hobbling across this stage. In fact, there's footage coming up just to add to my embarrassment even more. So, Catherine, I knew you went through something similar about 10 minutes ago. Don't worry, I feel your pain. There I am. It ruined the photos, I'll tell you that for the truth. But beyond the embarrassment of hobbling across the stage, I think a lot of you will feel like I did on that day. You will be a heady mix of excited, nervous, uncertain. Some of you will already have your next step mapped out. Many will not. And others will just be thinking about the 2-for-1 cocktails and the Chippy Lane dinner you'll be having later on. And I'm here to say that all of those states of mind are totally fine. I've spent a lot of time these last few months. I present the Welsh language version of Question Time, and during an election period, it's quite intense. There's a lot of travel involved. And so I've been spending a lot of the time travelling around Wales thinking about some of the things that I wish I had been told when I was sat there with my crutches, daring to dream of my future. So if you don't mind the self-indulgence, I'd like to share some of those with you today, if that's okay. So firstly, limping across the stage, as I did, didn't necessarily feel like the greatest omen for a successful career. But actually, I think it sort of worked out as a strong metaphor for how I think you build a career. One small step at a time, sometimes uncertain, sometimes feeling like you're going to fall over at any second. But it doesn't matter at the end, because I reached the end of the stage just like everybody else, but I did it in my own time. And I think that's true of a career as well. My first job was as a researcher back in West Wales, and that led to me getting to BBC Wales, which led to my first radio show, which led to presenting on Radio 1, which led to the 10 o'clock news, which led to live television, which led to Saturday night television. You get the gist, right? Just think of the next step and enjoy, or try to enjoy, the here and the now. Make the journey as fun as you can, and try not to get lost in the worry of the distant future. The other stuff, your big ambitions, whatever they may be, your goals, your success, whatever you judge that to be, will come in time. And so my second point follows on from this. I really didn't want this to come across like I'm some old granddad stood up on stage. I do worry it might come across a bit like this. But look, I scroll Insta and TikTok most nights like everybody else. I will be putting a photo of me on my stories in the gown. It's going to happen, right? But I think that you all need to be far kinder on yourselves than you have been, because you are under way more pressure than my generation ever was. And that is because of social media. A famous poem reminds us that there will always be greater and lesser persons than ourselves. Comparison can make you vain and bitter. I've seen it a lot in my particular industry. But it's hard not to compare yourself on social. But just think you're running your own race. Enjoy the journey and your achievements for what they mean to you, not to anybody else. There's going to be ups and there's going to be downs in everybody's life, in everybody's career, but you're only going to see the ups on Instagram. You won't see the downs. And so to finish this off, lastly, take the pressure off yourselves a bit. I didn't realize this at the time, but you've already learned a valuable skill, a piece of knowledge, some information, a thing that is going to help you in time of need. Sometime in your future, you're going to be bailed out by one of these things that you have already learnt. It might be how, this is me trying to do maths, okay, so bear with me. It might be how an equation or a piece of code will get you out of a problem in work. How to start a conversation with someone from a different background or ethnicity or religion than you. How to learn complicated algorithms very quickly in a short space of time, possibly for a test that you may or may not have forgotten about. Or maybe it's about how you make the best spag bol to impress that person you've met, that you've invited over for dinner. Education is life, and life is education. And what you've already gone and done is given yourselves the best start to go and do whatever it is that you want to, whether that's in work or whether that's in your life. So I know lots of you will be thinking, why is a journalist and a presenter who would know one end of a Pythagoras theory from the other here speaking to us this afternoon? Well, I just hope that some of the experiences of a once nervous 21-year-old hobbling along a stage very similar to this one with his crutches. I hope those experiences will remind you or give you a sense that it will turn out all right in the end. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stefan. Well, congratulations. You are now all part of the Cardiff University alumni community. Welcome, it's good to have you aboard. Cardiff alumni are great global citizens. Some are activists and have high profiles. Others are quiet, solid contributors to their communities. Both types are more than welcome. Cardiff will have given you more than just a degree. You've been encouraged to ask questions and challenge conventional wisdom. You've shown a willingness and determination and a spirit, which are the real hallmarks of a Cardiff University graduate. The Welsh word hiraeth is made for moments like this. It conveys a sense of place, of love, of longing, of memories. And we hope that you'll keep hiraeth in your hearts for Cardiff University. Before we close the ceremony, there is one last but important Cardiff University tradition we need to uphold. Because whilst today is all about your achievement wasn't done, wasn't made, wasn't achieved on its own. Your achievement was in large part down to the support of the people over here, friends, families, relatives, who've kept you going, who helped get you here and who've helped sustain you. All the way through this ceremony, they have been showing their support for you, and now it's your turn to reciprocate. So can I ask the graduates please to stand? Now, I need to give you a warning. This is an important tradition, and you need to take it seriously. It's done on volume. It's done on energy. It's done on vibes. It's done on love. So I want you to turn and try and find the people that are here with you, the people that are here to support you. If they're not here, they may be on YouTube. Just have them fully in your mind. And now I want you to show them your support for everything they've done for you. Let's hear it. Okay. Maybe you can't see them. Maybe you can't find them over here. Maybe you thought I said it's a rehearsal. We had some art. I'm a science graduate like you. We had some arts graduates in. They made far more noise and showed far more appreciation. So let's do it properly this time. Let's hear it. Come on. Keep it going. That's much better. You can be seated. On behalf of the graduates, they couldn't have done it without you. On behalf of all of us, thank you. Now, to close our celebrations is a film welcoming you to the Cardiff University alumni family. I hope you enjoy it, and at the end of the film, please stand as the platform party leaves. In fact, you don't just have to stand, please sway and maybe even dance as the ceremony draws to a close. Thank you all for joining us today. And congratulations again on securing your degree and joining the alumni family. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Thank you.
Take a look around you. Be welwch chi? What do you see? Class of 2024. Today we take stock of everything we've achieved and say thank you to those who always believed. So scroll through memories, cymryd selfies gyda'r besties, and stand up straight for the photographer. Say cheers. Today we remember how we got this far. The late nights and bright lights, and moments we didn't do as well as we might. Pob dyddiad cau, dyfal barhau, o weithio'n galed i'r dathliadau. Today we're rewarded for all the hard work that started way back with the first steps we took. Dropped at Talabont, yng Nghennydd, Aberdare or Aberconwy I ganol y freshers, heb wybod lle I fynd, heb nabod bob un, nes canfod ffrindiau oes yn neidiau hoff cytun. First dates.
Soulmates.
I'm gonna start crying at this rate. Today we're part of something that's hard to describe. The new class of an old tribe. A tradition that'll be there our whole lives, a network that continues to help us thrive. Years from now, we'll see someone with a badge on their tie or hear people on a bus shouting,
Cheers, drive.
And we'll remember where we came from, where we came into our own, where we made our mark. Canfod Cartref, where we found a home. Today we make noise like it's the varsity game and count ourselves lucky we found people with the same interests, hobbies, byd o'r hwmor nes bod ni'n ffoli. People who tried to shelter us with broken brollies. People who helped us find our limits and push them out of the way. People who helped us get to this point.
On this day.
Today is a day we mark everything we've shared. A day we tell people just how much we cared, that they were always there, even when they couldn't be. Roedden ni'n gwybod y deiau eto hael lyfryn for all the long hours we've had to put in. We still had those nights that went right through till dawn, and days we dug deeper than ever before. So here's to those late night revisers and early risers, to sunny days that passed by in Butte Park, to that special someone who gave us that special spark and helped us to grow, to transform, to dream. Today's for that someone we're proud to have at our team. What happens tomorrow is whatever you choose. Go make news or break news, but absolutely refuse to be told that can't be done, because we've only just begun to make records and break records and make history and break history and say,
Fy mi, this is the world I want to see.
10,
20,
30, 40.
years from now, you'll look back on today and realise you've been by your side the whole way. But right now, right here, let's savour the moment and say, Llongyfarchiadau, congratulations. Let's get the celebrations underway. Take a moment. Look around you. Be welwch chi? What do you see? We're Cardiff University. Croeso, welcome to your alumni community.